Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Likutei Halachos Teffilin Halacha Vav. The issue that we're dealing with in all the Hilchos Teffilin, specifically in this one, is the issue of eternal life. Eternal life, as opposed to what one might think, is not a continuation of the same old, except that it doesn't end, but rather the opposite. Eternal life is a constant beginning. We'll learn in Halacha Daled, we'll learn that Halacha Hey, that the in of starting over, which is one of the main nekuda for Rabbi Nachman, is the essence of new life. New life is starting all over again, as the Rebbe learned in Halacha Hey, taking the mashal from the blind beggar from the Sipur Maisis, that said he is totally old and he's totally young. He's totally old. This is Chaim Nitzchim. This is eternal life. On the other hand, he's totally young. He just begun living. In fact, he is more than just begun living, or rather less than just begun living. The one who epitomizes that principle is David HaMelech. David HaMelech is Chai V'Kayim, he lives forever. David HaMelech was supposed to be a stillborn, which doesn't even have one day. It's not a newborn that has a day. Even one day it doesn't have. David HaMelech is in a state that he has to beg for a single day of life. In other words, that's as young as you can be. And this Torah that the Rebbe bases Halacha Hey, that the Nosson bases Halacha Hey, is in the Torah of Chaim Nitzchim, this eternal life in Likutei Maran, Torah Ayin Beis, Chelik Beis. And the klal is that the re'iyah, the looking, that the person sees the tzaddik and the tzaddik sees him. With the looking itself, the tzaddik shines in a person's mind the person's own innate potential. He potentiates him. In other words, the gdula is there. But when the tzaddik looks at him, the tzaddik potentiates him. The mind shines, and the person steps into the stature that is befitting to him. Yesterday we gave a mashal about a soldier in a platoon. There's usually like a bum that doesn't do anything, and in battle, suddenly the commander gets hit, and they're like surrounded, and they're like dead meat kind of thing. It's and that's no good soldier. So he steps up and takes command and leads everybody out from the whatever it is, against all odds, whatever it is. He steps into his greatness. What happens is he gets infused with Ruach Elokim. We see that it's about Shaul. When Shaul HaMelech became a melech and became a king, he was still, hemming and hawing, I'm not, whatever it is. And it says the Ruach Elokim Shaul, and the spirit, has cloaked, has enveloped Shaul, and he stepped in and he fought against the Plishtim. And when the Ruach comes in, when the tzaddik looks at a person, he puts this Ruach Elokim in him. This is the sod of Ish Asher Ruach Bo, a man that has the Ruach of Hashem in him.
And we're saying because Shaul looked in the eyes of Samuel, and he was a tzaddik. Is that a connection?
I don't know. I can make something up if you need.
Where do we see this in the Torah? Where do we see it?
It's in Shmuel Aleph, I believe. Shmuel Beis. I'm sorry, Shmuel Beis. That's what you said, but you're asking good. I don't know. Anyhow, so this nekuda that the tzaddik looks, and he shines in your moich, he shines the Gdula that's coming to you, is the side of what Moshe Rabbeinu, Yisro told Moshe Rabbeinu, ואתה תחזה מכל העם, אנשי חיל וכו' וכו', שרי אלפים, שרי מאות, שרי 50 ושרי עשרות. It says, and you will gaze, you will watch, you will look from all the people, ministers of thousands and of hundreds, which means, Zerko says, with the look that Moshe Rabbeinu looked at each one, he shined on, he sparkled, the Gdula of each and every one of them glowed. Because what he did was, he put in the Ruach HaElokim in each and every one of them, and he came to the Gdula. Now, what is the Gdula? What is the greatness? What is the one that he's a hero? He can become rich, or what's Pshat Gdula of a person? The Gdula of a person is Hanova. The humility and the humbleness of every person, that's his Gdula. That is true Gdula. He says that the manig, that when the tzaddik shines in his mind, his Gdula, a person is capable suddenly of being Mechadish Chiddush Torah, according to his Madrega. That's the first sparkling of greatness that comes to him. The minute the Chiddush Torah that is Mechadish by everyone, a person, the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu is revealed to a person more than before. Then what falls on him is a busha, is a tshuva. Tshuva basically is a natural state of shyness. It's not shame, it's shyness, which means you're revealed, you are standing before a revelation of Gdula of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Your own, puniness is revealed to you when you stand in front of a greatness. That's the kind of busha we're talking about. Kamuvan, as the Rebbe says in this story, it's not only that the person should be totally embarrassed to do an avera, but even to do a mitzvah, a person should be embarrassed. They taking the kiss of the melech he put on film. How can that be? It's like, you go in, you're going to step into the helicopter of the President of the United States of America. Just go ahead and take me here. Who the heck are you? It's like you're going to sit on the throne of King Queen of England. He says, okay, put the crown on my head. What are you doing? What's wrong with you, man? What do you mean? It's a big thing to do. It's like to put the kid on the melech. That kind of busha that falls on a person, what it is, it's not an embarrassment. It's not a shame that falls on a person, from his averas, which is a result of what he did or didn't do. But actually, what it is an awakening of the innate shyness and humility that exists of Moshe Rabbeinu, that exists in every limb of every Jew. Rabbeinu says that L'osid Lava in the future, the one thing that will awaken is that shyness, this bashfulness, natural innate bashfulness of every Jew. Now, as long as a person doesn't do tshuva, it doesn't feel this thing bichlal, what happens? This bashfulness, this potential, it's in a coma. It's basically the state of death. When the tzaddik shines into the person, the Ruach HaElokim, and his greatness, the person's greatness is exposed, and he is zerchet to Chiddush Torah, and then, which is, and he has to get it, from a tzaddik with shomer abris and ish kodesh or porosh, and that shines that particular gdula in him. It awakens, it resuscitates, it revitalizes, it brings to life that dormant humility of Moshe Rabbeinu that is within you, in every limb. Mamish gives it life. It's Tchias HaMesim. It's Mamish a resurrection of that part of you. This is the resurrection in this world, and this is the resurrection of the world to come. as much as you are able to awaken that particular dormant humility, which is realization of who you really are. This is what will awaken Tchias HaMeisim. That's what we see all over the Indian of knowing who you are is tremendously central with everything that has to do with dying and resurrecting. This is the first thing that when a mace is being, when he's put in the kever, is Machdama asking, "What's your name?" What do you mean, what's your name? Well, there's a famous story from the Choize of Lublin. And one of his Talmidim was a big joker. About joker bekdusha, not a bum. No, I think you know the story already. You're already laughing. Anyhow, so he passed away. This particular time he passed away. So from the Levaya, they were walking back. So the Choize of Lublin was chuckling on the way back from the kever. Somebody was laughing. He said, "The guy died. The poor bloke." It's like, what's wrong? So the Chozeh told him that they put the guy in the kever, and let's say the guy's name was Moshe. Okay, just for argument's sake. So Malach Dumeh asked him, "What's your name?" So he said, "Yitzchak." So Malach Dumeh says, "No, it's not true. Your name is Moshe." So he says, "If you know, why you asking?" To be in a position to be able to joke with Malach Dumeh it means he was okay. Anyhow, but so the Indian, what's the Indian of what's your name? What's your name is which your name is your essence. The question: have you lived your essence? If you lived your essence, you know who you are. You know what your name is. If you lived in some kind of a la la land dimyonis, you didn't live your name. You lived a different name. It's like I remember that when I was a kid, so we had when we were kids, we had a neighbor with a bigger daughter. We must be like 7 or 8, and the big daughter was like 13 or 14, and she looked like so big and so beautiful and everything. Her name was Slava. I don't know whatever it is. In all the games that I used to play with my sister, she always used to say, "My name is Slava." In the game, that's my name. What is it? In other words, she took a different name says, "That's the way I'd like to see myself. That's how I'd like to pattern myself." It's funny when you talk about children's games, it's very, very cute. Something's very pathetic, whatever. But the point is, we all do that. It's exactly what we do. We live an imagined reality of what we think is what we would like to be known as, whether it's Slava or it's Gates or Zuckerberg or Albert Schweitzer. It doesn't make a difference. It's all the same thing. It's not us. That's the first thing. The Malach Duma, what is it? The role of Malach Duma is not just scary. The role of Malach Duma is to ascertain who the real you is, because that's the only thing that will actually resurrect. All the rest have to fall aside. So all the falsehood has to fall aside. That's what Nahal Dinur is all about. That's what Gehenim is all about. The whole thing is for the falsehood to fall off, and for the real you to be ascertained. The real you is this humbleness, which you get when the tzaddik looks at you. Be'ezrat Hashem, this Uman, this Rosh Hashanah in Uman, Be'ezrat Hashem. You come to the Tzion. The Nefesh HaChaim of the tzaddik sits on the grave. He sees you. When you look at the Tzion, you see him. He shines into the Gdula that you need for this year to be Megala, the humility within you. We're holding in Simon Beis. This is an essence of Tefillin. What is it, Tefillin? Tefillin is this sparkling, this glowing of intellect, of moichin. This is the thing that entitles you, that gives you the greatness, that gives you the authority. Pchinas Malchus, but this is Malchus. Pchinas Melech Asur B'Rahatim, that a king that is entrapped in that is bound with straps. This is the straps of Moichin. Berita Moichin, these are the straps of the mind. Shezeu Kol Pchinas Tefillin. We said once before, many times before, because I repeat myself a lot, that the greatness of a person that is a slave and how do you call people? Kidnap people. Bnei Aruba. No, when robbers in the bank that hold people in there as hostages. The Malchus is hostage, is held hostage within the straps of one's mind. They said, that in India, when the elephant is very young, they tie its leg with a rope, with a chain, to a stick in the ground that is very, very strong, and he cannot pull it out. Then, when the elephant grows up, all they do is just tie a little rope to its leg and put a little stick in the ground. It's enough. Why? Because in the elephant's mind, the leg is tied. That's it. It cannot go anywhere. The Rebbe says it is in the Shri Yedidus, in the very beginning of Likutei Maran. The Rebbe says, "Don't be like this elephant that does not realize his own koyach. That when the mouse pulls him in with his trunk, that he goes along because he doesn't realize that he has the koyach." What is the thing that you are all prisoners of our own minds, of what we think that we can do, what we think we cannot do, where we think that we belong. The kind of relationships we think we feel that we should have, we're entitled to, whatever it is. This is all. Everything is the straps of our mind. It's tzimtzumim, the constrictions of our own minds. A person cannot change himself, cannot change his lot, if his mind is not ready for this. We get the muscle of the foul shooter in a basketball game. That you have somebody with a 60% foul shooter and somebody with a 70%, somebody who's a 90% foul shooter. What's the difference between them? They're all professional basketball players. They all can hit practically every shot. But the point is that being an 80% foul shooter or a 300 hitter in baseball or whatever it is means that you're the linchpin of the team, that you make $10 million a year, the paper writes about you, they expect certain things from you, whatever it is. This is your envelope of comfort. So somebody who is a 200 hitter or hits 60% of his foul shots, if he goes through a stretch that he hits 80% because he's a professional shooter, in his own mind he already brings himself down, and suddenly he goes through a stretch that he hits 40% of the shots and he hits 150, just to bring himself back to where he's comfortable in his own mind, his own envelope of comfort. Because this is his gdula, his malchus, is entrapped, is jailed, is held hostage, berehita de mocha, with the straps of one's own mind.
What is it called?
Rehita de mocha. This is the melech asur b'rahatim. This is the rehita de mocha. This is the straps, the confines of one's mind, of one's perspective. This is tefillin. Tefillin is gdula, is moichin, held in with straps. All this is talking about tefillin, which are the brain held with straps. The glowing of the intellect, that inside the straps, the confines of the mind, is jailed and stored and concealed that essence of malchus of each and every person. This is what when Bathsheba, she asked for David HaMelech to keep his word about that he said that Shlomo HaMelech will be the king after David HaMelech. And she came to him, he called her, and he swore to her again, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make Shlomo HaMelech, the next king that day. So she bowed down to him. She says, "Vayta nefesh Adoni tzrua b'letzor chaim," and the nefesh of my master would be tied up with the package of life. Sheneemar al Malchus David. This is what is told. This is what is said about Malchus David. Shekshura v'tzrua b'tzor chaim shematfil. The Malchus of David, the greatness of David HaMelech, this is what we're trying to get into us, that is tied up and bundled up in the bundle of life, which is the Teffilin. This is the knot of the Teffilin, as we said in different places. Hainu, what it all means is, Kodesh Baruch Hu has ordered us to put tefillin on every day. And this is a shimmering, a glimmering of the moichin. There's actually, this is the manifestation of the Orapanan itself. We said it in Ilchas Tefillin Lachadalad, and we said it before. The tefillin is a condenser, it's a conduit that brings down the light, the Orapanan, from the highest madrega of them all, to shine all the way down on the lowest madrega, which is the medame, which is the leather that the tefillin is written on, the leather that the pashas are inside, because the medame is, as we said also in Moshe Shabbos, that's the cognizant level of a person's mind, the seichel that the moichin is written on, is inscribed on. The seichel itself is way beyond anything that we can be cognizant of. It's abstract, it's unfathomable, it's undifferentiated, it's like total, it's kulo echad. That we understand by defining things, by dividing things, by categorizing things. The seichel amiti is just one thing.
Chochmah.
Yeah, the chochmah. It's just one thing. It's koachma. Everything is one spark. It has to go through the categorization of the bina, and in order to finally to be applicable through the das and chol. And so we have that screen, that ability to visualize and to symbolize whatever it is, which is koach hamadama, which is a wild bronco, basically. I mean, it has to be clean, because if you can imagine anything, right? I mean, it's like there's no rules. I mean, it's like catch as you can. There's no hold bar, right? So what we need to go through the process of cleansing the madama, of purifying the madama, so it can serve as a handle to contain the true seichel and lead us from where we are to where we need to get. So that process of designing the keli, of designing the lowest vessel to where I am, to start me on the way towards Beis Hashem, that design has to be done by the highest intellect of them all, right? Because it has to be commensurate with tachlis shebekol tachlisim. This can be, okay, let's just take care of you right now so you're not hungry for a day. You have to give a tikkun that ultimately leads you to the ultimate tikkun of all the tikkunim. In other words, the tikkun that the tzaddik has to give each and every person right now has to fit the vector, the trajectory the person needs to take in until after Tchias HaMesim. It's not a temporary fix. It's a fix that leads you towards the ultimate goal. So it has to be done already with such a chokhmah that it will fit where you are now, and what you bring to the table, and your prejudices, and your biases, and your crazinesses, and your madness, and everything else, and lead you to the promised land all the way to the Tachsim Kol Tachlisim.
So this is the way out of the envelope.
Okay, right now we did not talk about getting out of the envelope of Kavan, right? We're talking about the principle of the moichin are in an envelope, and that film shines the Gdula inside the envelope, and therefore...
What you just described was your mind, your madness, all these things are who you are. What you said
Right.
is there's a light that
Right.
brings you out.
Yes, it's a light that shines shines to you the way you are right now to take you one step further. Yes.
L'dugma, if somebody needs to draw a line that goes on and on and on. So in the beginning, it can't be off by even a millimeter. It's got to be
That's right. That's
Exactly.
right. Very good. Very good.
over time.
Has to be 100% towards the goal because you just a little slight, to the left or to the right, and the further ahead you go, the more you're off the derech, and the more you're off course. So the main thing is that Shizbuch told us to put tefillin every day. Shem Itznosus HaMoichi, that's the shining of the Moichi. Or upon him, that's actually the or upon him, that's the Sechel HaElyon. כדי להמשיך על ידי זה את קדושת אור פני הצדיקים האמיתיים. In order to draw upon us the holiness of the light of Pnei Tzadikim. The Tzadikim are the applicators of Or upon him. This is what they do. This is their role. You can see that the first tzaddik that we are on Am Yisrael is Yosef. Yosef is the one that connects between the Avos, the patriarchs, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and the Shvatim, and the 12 Shvatim. Yosef is, we said it a few times, Yosef himself is not a patriarch, and he's not a Shevet. Right? It's not even clear what he is, Bechlal. There's no Shevet Yosef. There's Menashe and Ephraim. So he's their father, he's a patriarch. No, he's not. He's the son of...
Sometimes he's a son. Sometimes
He's both. What he is, he's the conduit between the Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, which is the Moichin Chomer Bin Adas, and the Malchus, which is the Tresas Shivtei Ka. He is the Yesod. He is the one through which everything comes through. The Tzaddik is the one that shines to you, Or Pnei Malchaim. So this is Kedushas Or Pnei Tzadikim Amitim, the Sharadeis to Klusam, that through their gaze, through them looking at you, Ikar Etznetzes Samoichin. You get your moichin to sparkle when the tzaddikim look at you. Until you're zoichin to all these aspects that we spoke about before. You're zoichin to eternal life, which is what? Shem anovo v'shiflu samiti shel Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the humbleness and the true humility of Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the resurrection of the dead. All this you get by looking at the face of the tzaddikim. But not everybody merits it. That not every person knows when Moshe is, where Aaron is. Mostly people don't know where these tremendous tzaddikim, the real true tzaddikim are. That by looking at the Yidden, they can already be mezakeh them with all these aspects that we spoke about. Most people don't know who the true tzaddikim are. That has this koyach that by looking at you alone, already, get you all these bechinas that you'll be zeichet to tchias hamesim, that is the true life, that this is the happiness that we're all looking for. This is the true tachas. This is our hope forever. And even that person who is such a person that is or has merited to come close to this tzaddik, and to look at him, and to look into the light, the shining light of his holy face. Even he cannot look at the tzaddik every day and every hour, at all times. That's why Kodesh Baruch had Rachmanis on us, and He gave us, a stopgap measure. Ki Tefillah and Kdushim and Kdoshim, Kedusha Gdola Kol Kach, that Tefillin are so holy in Kedusha Beguf. By putting Tefillin, each one of Am Yisrael can draw upon itself the Kedusha of the shining, of the sparkling of the Moichin that come forth to you from looking at the face of the Tzaddikim. Ki Tefillin or Panim, because the Tefillin are the light of the Panim. We said once before that the light, the Or Panim, has to come to us through the lens of the tzaddik. We once gave a mashal, the different kind of mishalim to the esospheres, to the 10 spheres. And whereas the light inside the bulb, in the projector, the white light, is the Or HaChachma. It has all the pictures and possible pictures in the world in it. It goes through outside of the bulb, it goes through the film. The films are basically filters. Everything happening in the bulb is Chochmei Bina Das. This is the kesser, which is the electricity going through the filament inside the bulb, and until it goes, the bulb itself is the bina, the light, the white light. It goes, the casing of the bulb is kaviyachol the bina, contains the light. That the light shouldn't burn. Whatever it is goes out, in an even keel. The light that comes out is the das. Okay, fine. That afterwards goes through a film. The film has images on it. It's transparent to let the light go through, but nevertheless, the red parts of the film hold back all the different colors and only let the red one go through. The green parts only let the green light go through. And so they have the image going on, in form of light, but nevertheless what you need to have a lens that will project this. You can't look at the light coming through a film and see anything. This is not discernible. You need the light to go through a lens, which is kaviyachol, get away from here, which is the midas. This is the midah of Yesod, and you're projected on a screen which has to be empty, has to be white. This is the Malchus, the Malchus that doesn't have anything of its own. If there's anything painted on the screen in the movie theater, you won't be able to watch the movie, because that painting on the screen will disturb you. It has to be totally empty. And the whiteness of the Malchus, of the screen, is parallel to the white of the light of the Chochmah, which is totally white, which includes everything. So it includes everything, includes nothing. It has to include nothing to be able to include everything. To be a representation of everything. For you to try to get the light without the tzaddik is akin to looking at the light coming out of the film without the lens. There's no way. It has to go through the lens, it has to be projected on the malchus, then you can receive the light. The tzaddikim are that all of the lens, and this is so when we put on that film, this is in lieu of seeing the tzaddik. The tzaddik shines when he looks at you. He shines. He projects the light, the Or Elokim into your mind, which is the screen, and it shines. The Yagdula shines. You can't see the tzaddik every day. Since we have the tefillin does that. Anybody who puts on tefillin merits chayim. Moshe Kosov, Hashem alem yichil. Hashem upon them, they will have life. They will live. And the only true life forever is chayim nitzchim. This is the essence of the resurrection. That's the shiflus, that's the anovo, the true anovo of Moshe Rabbeinu resides in every limb of every Jew. This constitutes the simcha of the tefillin. Moshe Amru Chazal. You're talking about, one of the Tanoim, the that he was happy all day long, he was rejoicing all day long. I put on film. כי החיים הנ"ל הם עיקר השמחה הנצחי. So that life is the essence of eternal happiness. כמו שכתוב, תודיעני אור החיים סוב השמחות את פניך. You will let me know a way of life, סוב השמחות, filled with happiness, with joys. How? Es panecha, when I get your panim, I get אור הפנים, I get the עד שזוכן על זה התפיל, שזה זוכן על זה התפיל, this is what you gain by putting on tefillin, שאין מבחינת אור הפנים, that's the אור הפנים. זה מבחינת קשר של יוד, this is the knot of the יוד, שהזהירו חז"ל מאוד שלא יתרחק חס ושלום מן התפיל. חז"ל were very, very particular that the knot of the tefillin, the yud that you have in tefillin shel yad, that you shouldn't stray away from the tefillin. כי היוד מבחינת עולם הבא. Yud, you know, Yud K. Yud represents Olam Haba, and K represents Olam Hazeh. כי היוד מבחינת עולם הבא. כמו שאמרו בתינו ז"ל, מבחינת חיים נצחיים של עולם הבא. That's the eternal life of the world to come. שהוא אונו, הנובה ושיפלוס אמיתי. That's a true הנובה, the true humbleness, a true שיפלוס. שזהו גם כן מבחינת סיוט שהוא קטן השבאוסיוס. And how it represents in this world? In you, that's the smallest of the all letters. And מבחינת הנובה אמיתי. This is a true הנובה. כמו שאמרו חז"ל, שהעולם הבא נברא ביוד. It says, why is the Olam Haba created with the letter Yud? Al Shem Tzadikim shiyu az mu'atim. It says, because Tzadikim, there will be just few. What do you mean Tzadikim will be few? Entire Am Yisrael is going to be there in Olam Haba. What do you mean? Kol Yisrael yesh lehem chelek la'Olam Haba. Why are you saying that the Olam Haba is called Yud because the Tzadikim, because they are few? כמו שאמרו חז"ל, כל ישראל שלו חלק לעולם הבא, שנאמר, ועמך כולם צדיקים לעולם ירשו ארץ. You know, your people, you know, are all צדיקים, forever they will inherit the land. אך מה שאמרו רבותינו ז"ל, שהצדיקים שיהיו שם מועטים, the צדיקים, they will be there, that there are few. מעט is not only few, מעט also means diminished. מועטים, small. שהצדיקים שיהיו מועטים מבחינת מה שאמרו חז"ל, וחז"ל said על הפסוק, כי אתם המעט מכל העמים, for you are the most diminished of all the nations. ופרש רש"י, what did Rashi explains, על הנובה ושיפלו שאתם המעטים מעצמכם. That's the lowliness and the humbleness that you diminish yourself. וזה שהצדיקים שיהיו שם בעולם הבא, הצדיקים that will be there in the Olam Haba, הם מועטים, they are diminished, this is diminished בוודאי. כי לא יהיה שם רק מישהו בחינת ואתם מעט מכל העמים. Rabbeinu says, the only chayas that will actually get resurrected by Olam Haba is the shiftless of every person. That aspect of a person diminishing himself. That's the only thing, that's the only true thing that will stand up Chesed Amazing. Chazal said, you know, what's going to be in Olam Haba? Why is it Kol Yud? It's tzadikim she'em mu'atim, they're diminished. That aspect within you that diminishes yourself, that realize your true perspective and how small you are. That is a thing. That's a true life. That's the thing that will live Olam Haba.
It's the opposite of the nature of this country.
That's right.
If you diminish yourself and you're mavatal, you're a friar. You know, that's you people walk all over you.
All over the world it's like that.
It's worse.
מאוד מוודאי, כי לא יש שם רק מישהו מבחינת כי אתם מעט מכל העמים. You are the smallest, the tiniest, you're the most diminished of all the nations. דהיינו שהוא ממעט ומקטין עצמו. That the person diminishes himself and makes himself smaller. כי חיים הנצחיים של עולם הבא, because the eternal life of the world to come, and מי שיוכל לקבל כי מהשיפלוס והנובה של כל אחד, the only thing, the only vessel that contain the eternal life is the humbleness and the shyness and the self-diminution of every person. What? I mentioned the whole word.
I'm not sure. Jury's out.
וזה שהפליגו רבותינו זכרונם לברכה, this is what Chazal said בעונש, שמי שלא מניח תפילין וקרא אותו פויש ישראל בגופו. This is why Chazal said that the punishment of anybody that doesn't put on tefillin is tremendous, and they call him Posh Yisrael Begufay. He is a Posh Yisrael with his body. This is a head. This is a skull that doesn't put tefillin on. The judgment is eternal death. It is impossible to merit the eternal life. That's the life of the world to come. The only way to do it is bizocher through tefillin. And before we stop here and go into a Likutei Moharan, I just want to be madgish that particular nakuda that this is what we're going to Uman for. We're going to Uman for Erev Rosh Hashanah. We're going to Uman for Rosh Hashanah. Going to Uman for Erev Rosh Hashanah is to be zocher to Chaim Nitzchi. To look at the tzaddik, and for the tzaddik to look at us, to do all the tikkunim of the shtatchus on the tzion. You go to the tzion, you put your left arm on the tzion, just for a few seconds, say a couple of words. You give the pruta l'tzedakah, you say tikkun haklali, whatever it is that you need to do. And with this, B'ezrat Hashem, you're zeicha to or upon it. This is for you. Then we have Rosh Hashanah itself, which is the Malchus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're Mamlech B'ezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then we help Rabbeinu Kiviyachol. We become a weapon in his hand. The more people that come, the more Rabbeinu is able to be Mamlech the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be Megala, the Malchus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. And every single Jew that comes there multiplies everybody, in a power. So, geometrically. So the person says, there's going to be 40,000 people. Another one was like, no, because of 40,000 people or 50,000 people or whatever people will be there, every single one more is a huge difference. I don't even know if there's a computer in the world that can calculate how many different kind of batim, the difference between with you and without you in Uman Rosh Hashanah. But Hashem will all be there. You want to? He'll do it. He knows he's an electrician.